Hey, there we go. We are live. In 1080p high definition. All right, let's light this candle, I suppose, right? And just turn this mother out, Steve. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it to it, kid.
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Leo Pond. It's definitely Leo Pond here, not anybody else holding up a paper cutout of his face. And, I'm just the monkey behind the keyboard here. Another Wednesday night at the Dorkening podcast. Here to discuss some really fun stuff and got some great topics and a whole lot of fun people, including, one other person, but still fun people nonetheless. And I'm gonna get you right over to them right now. Hey everyone, it's me, Brandon Powers. Leo had to take the night off. He's just gotta rest and relax because we treat him like the whipping boy that the director of every podcast network should be. And we just wanted to be able to continue on and have a fun night, just talking about some of the fun stuff we've seen over the past week. And joining me in doing so tonight, we have Mr. Steven. How you doing, Steve from Super Retro?
Good. I don't know what is creepy. That how in the hell did you get that cardboard cutout? Or
I made it. I made this.
um,
hey everyone, it's me, Leo. I love DC Comics and Star Wars.
that could be the new. You remember those Burger King mask, the commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. No, I went to our good buddy's Facebook and I found the most appropriate photo I could. And then I proceeded to crop it, then print it out on my printer from my phone and cut it out of the paper and put all kinds of chopsticks and stuff on the back to straighten it out.
You know what? I'm going to an AEW show in at the end of July in Worcester, Massachusetts. I should take that sign from you and hold it up in the crowd saying Leo is here.
I am Neo Leo, not to be confused with Neo Geo, the original arcade cabinet system from the 90s. You cannot play. I don't know what did they have? Fatal Fury on Neo Geo.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let's see here. Oh, happy Wednesday, Facebook user. I don't know how to make everything pop up. Leo did not show me how to do that, so sorry, gang. Let's see here. Oh, show. Can I show? Oh, look, there it is. I clicked Steve. It's if I click the word show, it pops up. So yeah, happy Wednesday to you too, Facebook user. Wow, why so many people with the same name, Facebook user? It's
Facebook
pretty
user.
ubiquitous. It's like
Yeah.
John Smith or Muhammad.
I
Fantastic.
I think the code term for Facebook user is you have to like StreamYard in order to comment.
Yeah.
So
You have to connect to StreamYard, like sign into it in order. Oh, it's Tom.
Hey,
Well,
Tom.
hey Tom, you know the rules, dude. So yeah, ooh, some strong tea. So yeah, gang, we got quite a few topics. There was a decent amount of stuff that occurred over the past week.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess first and foremost, you want to just jump right into Obi-Wan?
Yep. Did you
watch?
see? Did you see?
Okay, I
Did you
did.
see? Yeah. I wanted to post a meme I created, but it was a Simpsons reference in the group chat. But I was like, certain people didn't see the finale, so I was like, should I? Shouldn't I?
Yeah, no, that's probably the right move.
And I've certain people in my social circle get my humor, and I was just let me just say it right now. Say the line, Obi-Wan. I was just
Which one? Which line could it possibly be, Steve? Because
the one he's tired of saying.
Hello there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's literally tired of saying it, but he said
Hello
it.
there.
Yeah.
See, this I don't know. I don't know that this falls into a spoiler category because it doesn't give anything away about the story. Although, like, once again, I have to be entirely honest and straightforward. If you're watching Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus and you legitimately have no idea what was going to happen, at least with Obi-Wan by the end of this series, there may be a few movies that you needed to see beforehand that I don't know you were aware of.
I mean, at the last image of that you see, it's literally right
Yeah.
there. You have to watch episode 4 after. It's literally painting the picture.
Yeah.
Watch episode 4. It's literally
I will say though, this episode that the final episode that was on tonight, it did fix a bit of a problem that I had for a long time with A New Hope.
Yep.
Just a small one in regards. Well, I shouldn't say in regards. I'm going to use the word twice. How Obi-Wan regards Darth Vader in A New Hope.
Yep.
How he addresses him, because you got to remember at that point in time, George Lucas, he had A New Hope. That was it. Star Wars. It's a war in stars. Like, all right, cool. You couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon. We get it. And and that's all fine and good. Don't get me wrong. Like I love the original trilogy for sure. Like especially, but one thing that didn't quite gel for me, even as a kid, before there were prequels or anything, was that once it was revealed that Darth was actually like a Sith title and not actually his name, because you think about the juxtaposition between how they refer to him as Darth Vader, but then everyone says Lord Vader to him and stuff like that. But then Obi-Wan at one point, he's like Darth, like says it like his first name, like, you'll never defeat me, Darth, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I know I'm paraphrasing and hacking it, but you all get the gist of it. It just never made sense to me. He said Darth the way that I might turn to someone and be like, what do you think about that, Greg? Like it just, Greg is not a title, it's a name. And in this final episode, like he kind of he calls him Darth, like towards the end of like a confrontation,
Yep.
and it's like dripping with disdain when he says it, and I was like, oh, that is the cleverest retcon I've ever fucking seen. Like it was brilliant, because for me, somebody that's been sticking in my craw for a long time, I immediately was like, son of a bitch, they did it. They really did it. Those crazy assholes. And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that I was like, oh, so you fixed that, and then you fucked up all kinds of other stuff. Good job.
Well, the thing is that whole entire 5 minutes of exposition between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan in that 5 minutes, that was just like perfect, like binding things together.
Well, hello there.
It was just perfect, like 5 minutes of binding things together and wrapping it up nicely for 4, because there are certain things that was left loose, like you said, with the Darth thing. But with in episode 4, when Obi-Wan is mentioning, to Luke about Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, obviously in the confrontation with Vader, says the thing that Obi-Wan says to Luke. So that right there just validates that. So
yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. I mean, I still think it's bullshit, but yeah, that makes sense. It's a more elegant weapon for a civilized age.
Yeah.
And your father killed 20 children with it. What? Sorry, what was that last part? Ben? He killed how many whats with this thing?
Yeah, but I thought it was good. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this. I don't think there should be a season 2. I know there are rumblings of a season 2. No,
Please, no.
absolutely not. No, this is perfect.
Let those rumblings die down now. Let them die with us, Steven.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So this is how the rumblings of a new Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 start. With deafening applause. No, wait. That's not it at all. Fucking quote Phantom Menace to justify not renewing a show about Star Wars. I tried.
No, that was Revenge of the Sith.
Was it Revenge of the Sith?
Yes.
Was it? I don't know. They all blend together, those prequels.
Pretty much.
Ugh. Wait, no, really? The whole "this is how democracy ends" thing?
Yep.
Oh shit. Well, whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not Steve McQueen in a fucking Alfred Hitchcock Presents episode with Peter Lorre trying to light a fucking cigarette lighter at risk of losing my pinky. I'm good. Like
Now
I'm
I need to
fine.
find that episode you just mentioned.
What? You've never seen it?
Yes.
You ever seen the movie Four Rooms?
Yeah.
You know the end where Bruce Willis is in the last segment directed by Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
And they do the whole chopping the pinky finger off.
Mm-hmm.
They straight up say in that whole vignette that they got the idea from the episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents with Steve McQueen and Peter Lorre in it, which I had actually seen as a kid on Nick at Night well before I saw Four Rooms. So I was like giddy when I first watched that movie. And I can't stress this enough. I saw it on Cinemax. Cinemax was not just dirty movies like late at night. There was actually a lot of like cool independent movies that they showed on that channel like quite often.
Yep.
And Four Rooms is definitely one that I saw coming home on like a Friday or Saturday night, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And it ended up becoming like one of my favorite movies when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was like one of the few people my age that actually had seen that episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents before watching that movie. Check it out, man. It's a good one. It's suitably creepy. Peter Lorre's creepy anyway, no matter how you slice it.
Whether
But,
he's a Looney Tunes cartoon or not.
I don't like doing it. But yeah, it's a good one. Check out. I don't know what the number it is or what the name of the episode is, but just put in Alfred Hitchcock Presents Steve McQueen. He was only in like one of them. Pretty easy
Yeah.
to pinpoint.
So what's next on our agenda?
Well, real quick, just because I mentioned Steve McQueen, the Offer limited series finished up last Thursday, the day after our
Yes.
show. That was superb.
Yes, it was. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but if they do a second season, it should be. I know they mentioned it in the last episode how they wanted to greenlight Godfather 2. But if
Yeah.
they do a second season, it should be how they get to through Godfather 2. And if they
Yeah,
do
I mean,
a third
that
season, it should be how Godfather 3 came about. And, obviously with Godfather Coda that came out last year,
wasn't
that was-
Godfather Coda just the Godfather 3?
it was Coppola's original cut, but
Oh, okay.
studios had like a meltdown and they didn't like it and had
So
him
after
trim it.
parts 1 and 2, like that's where they drew the line. They're like,
Yes.
listen, you've clearly proven that you know what you're fucking doing. So we're gonna step in on this one because you're just gonna fuck this up to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm quite sure that Frankie Coppola was okay with that one. Yeesh.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't think they should do a second season or third, but I mean, that's if they ever did it, that's the way they should go. Is how the second season should be Godfather 2, third season should be Godfather 3. But
yeah, I mean, if they were to do it, that makes sense. I don't want them to though.
No.
This was such a good limited series. I think bringing it past that point where you told the story of making the first movie and the hurdles they had to overcome, that should be where it ends. I think there was probably a lot more drama to be wrung out of all of that too with the first movie than parts 2 or 3, honestly.
Now, if they celebrate like an anniversary of Apocalypse Now and how Francis Ford Coppola went through so much hell developing that, they should bring Dan Folger back as Francis Ford Coppola.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Apocalypse Now is not quite as, for lack of a better term, beloved.
I mean,
as
he
The
almost died
Godfather.
making that film.
It's a fucking wacky movie. Like, I think you'd be hard pressed to see it reach like the acclaim that The Offer just has.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you haven't seen The Offer, do yourself a favor, especially if you like the Godfather movies, the first one in particular, and give it a watch. it was superb. I watched it and thought that it was just going to be tepid at best. And by the end of the first episode, like I turned to my wife and she and I were both like, "Fuck, now we have to watch another show." Like it was that simple. And there we were every week on Thursday night, glued to the television, waiting to watch it. So I mean, Paramount Plus did something right with that one, that's for sure.
Also, if you guys have tickets to Terrificon and want to see Dan Folger there, check out the offer before you see Dan Folger there.
Oh, I forgot that Dan Fogler was going to be there. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Yeah. So bring bring all of the offer merch with you to get signed. I don't give him a high five if you see him, but
Yeah.
make sure that he's cool with it. Don't just walk up on him hand raised like you're gonna slap him down. I don't think he's a big dude anyway. So yeah, that was one thing I just wanted to mention. Then tonight, of course, being Wednesday on Disney, we didn't just get a new slash final episode of Obi-Wan, but we also got the latest episode of Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
It was the third episode, I think, that they
Mhm.
showed tonight.
How many total episodes are there in this? Is it 6 or 8?
I believe it's 8, but let me just verify that real quick by pulling out the old pocket computer and typing the name of it into the Google machine.
While you're doing that,
Doesn't take me long, Steve. 6 episodes.
oh, okay.
6. Yeah, so we're like the halfway point for that, which is fine because once again, this is supposed to like dovetail into the Marvels, which is going to include Captain Marvel, played by Brie Larson, and I don't know other characters.
Yeah. No, I think 6 is good. I mean, I like what they're doing. I think, getting their feet wet with WandaVision, doing 8, and then I think Hawkeye was 8, and then I don't know what the other show, Falcon and Winter Soldier was 8, and then what other show was after that?
Loki
Loki
was
was
8.
8. So this is the
Yeah.
first episode in their Marvel Disney Plus experiment series. That's 6. So I think
No, Moon Knight, right?
Moon Knight was 6.
I think Moon Knight was 6.
Okay.
Well, let's go to the tape. Let's see here. Moon Knight. 6 episodes. Yep.
Oh, okay. So I thought this was the first. But I was wrong.
Yeah, you were wrong, Steve.
But do you
Yeah,
think 6 episodes is enough for Marvel Disney Plus series? I think we've talked about this before.
Well, here's the thing. For this character, I mean, this is an introduction to the character.
Yeah.
And it's clearly a jumping off point because she's going to go from Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus to jumping onto the big screen in the Marvels. So I think it makes a lot of sense to utilize that platform to get people familiarized with who this character is, where she comes from, why she has the abilities she does, like start that mystery at the very least, and then you can kind of jump in with both feet when the movie comes out. Especially if you have Disney Plus, like you quote did the Marvel homework, then you'll be in pretty good shape. And if you hadn't, more than likely you have a friend that has watched all this bullshit and you can just ask them.
Yeah.
I mean that's how it goes like 9 times out of 10. So yeah, I think 6 is fine if it's utilized correctly, if you're making sure that you're getting to the point and crux of who this person is, what they're about, and what this could possibly lead to moving forward.
Which I think they're accomplishing.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I've really been enjoying this show so far. The main actor Iman Vellani, she to think that this is like the first thing that she's actually ever been in is it's very impressive because she's knocking it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
And I'm honestly like really I'm super interested to see where where they're going with what they revealed in this most recent episode. I don't want to say anything specifically because it just came out today, and that's not fair to anybody that hasn't a chance to see it yet. But I will say this much: anybody that is familiar with the character from the comic books versus this, they know that there have been some changes. One, to her abilities. It's more energy based as opposed to having stretching abilities. And I've seen that complaint popping up, which is like a very odd complaint as far as I'm concerned. But you have to see the sense in why Marvel would do that. The Fantastic Four is going to be like a very big deal when it comes out as a Marvel Studios movie. And before that happens, you really just like don't want to have somebody else who has what looks to be the same exact power set showing up before Mr. Fantastic does in a Fantastic Four proper movie. Oh, hey, look at this. Looks like we have another guest, kids.
And another one, some popping up too.
Another one? Where? I don't see. Yo-Yo is the only other person I see.
Oh, then I must have missed it because
there's two of me now.
There's two. It's Yo and Yo.
One day I'll figure that out.
Yeah, so we were just talking about Ms. Marvel. Not necessarily just the like this new episode, because did you see this week's episode, Yo-Yo?
Unfortunately, not yet.
I didn't think so. And that's fine. We were just oh my goodness, the coop. Oh,
that's what I was mentioning.
Okay, here he comes, kids.
Hey!
Hey, everyone!
Oh,
where did you get that?
I made it. I mean, get what? I'm Leo. I love.
Wow, he's smiling and everything. He must have a Transformers package to take off.
You know, we. I had a couple of drinks while we were doing Still Talking, and I love Batman and Star Wars.
Well, like I mentioned,
I hope Leo sees that and is just like, what the fuck?
Well, like Brandon mentioned when he popped that thing up, if I'm going to a wrestling show at the end of July, I gotta borrow that and hold that up in the crowd. I'll be in camera.
I'll make one, Steve. This one's mine. This is my substitute Leo head. Brandon, can you stand in for me tonight on the show? Oh, you know I can.
Wow, it's the monkey behind the keyboard.
I literally said that at the start. Like, hey, it's me, the monkey behind the keyboard, Leo.
Fellas, I know you've got an action-packed show. I saw the syllabus. What did I miss?
Okay, we can go back a bit. We haven't gotten far. Obi-Wan we touched upon.
I'm going to pass on that because I haven't watched the latest episode. I know Steve enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so on to the second topic, which is what we were fucking on. Ms. Marvel. And, not giving specifics away on the episode, nothing like that, because like I was saying before you guys came in, we know that it just came out today. So plenty of people haven't had the chance to sit down and watch that hour long yet. But
the first episode of Ms. Marvel?
Well, it's episode 3 that came out today.
Okay.
But yeah, like what I was saying is a lot of people have been complaining. It's a great show as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
The characterization is fantastic. Iman Vellani, like I was saying to Steve, the fact that this is her first professional acting job is mind-boggling, because she's such a natural fit. And on top of it, she's also a huge like comic book nerd too. Like she is a big old dork. She's been a comic book fan since long before she ever got this role. She actually, I was reading an article, and apparently her local comic book store where she grew up in Canada, it was directly across the street from the high school that she went to. So she was in there every week, and she wasn't the guy who owns the place. Like he knew her because she was a kid who came in and she wasn't just buying new stuff. She was going to the bins and checking all the back issues and stuff. So she knows her stuff, man, like through and through. I mean, she threw shade at Kevin Feige for saying that the cinematic universe is 616, and she was like, no, it's not. I don't care what Kevin Feige says. I'm like, good for you, 19-year-old. You're amazing. I'm like 40, and I'm like, whatever you say, Mr. Feige. Can I just stay on set? Thank you. But yeah, she some people have been complaining not about the garden variety misogyny and racism, because what isn't a comic book / movie fandom without that horse shit?
Yeah.
But the fact that they changed her powers, because in the comic book she can stretch, and that's what it is. She can like stretch and make her hand like grow big, and that's about it. Not that that's about it. If you had those powers, it'd probably be pretty cool to do stuff with.
Yeah.
But that's that. And now it's more of an energy based thing, and she actually does kind of do a lot of those same things, like stretching her arm out, but like it's an energy construct instead. And I keep trying to say to people, like, listen, see reason, because the Fantastic Four is going to be coming out, and it's going to be like a flagship property for Marvel Studios. They've been waiting so long to get these characters and do it right that you can't debut this character and have her have such a similar power set to Mr. Fantastic. It's going to draw away from that core team. Yep. So they still wanted to make sure that they were able to use the character and have her go on adventures and include her in everything that's coming forward. So what's a way around that? Well, energy technically stretches. You can't destroy it or create it. You can just change it. Well, okay, change it into the shape of a stretchy hand, and it works. I'm enjoying it so far. And one thing for sure, though, is I'm not quite certain where they're going with her origin, especially after this most recent episode. And I'm not stating anything that actually happened, but we do know that it's been up in the air, this whole thing about her connection to the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Because in the comic books, she has the Inhuman gene, and she was exposed to Terrigen Mist, so she went through Terrigenesis, and that's how she got those stretchy abilities. In this show, we're weeks past like the very first episode. Like, I'm okay with saying this. She puts on a bangle that she gets from like a box of trinkets and what have you that her grandmother sent over from Pakistan, and she's like, "Oh, this is great. Bangles are a large part of how women dress in South Asian culture, so it made perfect sense that she would have like zeroed in on it, and especially like gearing up for her brother's upcoming nuptials with his betrothed. So she clips it on, and all of a sudden it like kind of glows, and her eyes turn like orange, and she like has like a whoa whoa kind of thing go on. And it's like, oh, I think that girl just got superpowers. And she's continued to wear it. I don't know if she can actually take it off, and there's more that's unfolding about the origins of that bangle. And so far what we've seen is they're tying it more directly into her family's cultural origins, as opposed to any comic book story that we may be familiar with beforehand. Like, don't, so far at any rate, like going through the third episode, don't expect anything about like Adelan or Inhumans or any of that, brouhaha. What they do say, I still find very intriguing, because it could be I always say this word wrong, analogous. I don't know. It could be the same thing, but filtered through cultural tradition and in stories. Let me put it that way. Like, we could very well be hearing something about Adelan and Inhumans, but because they had no other way to explain the things that they were seeing, this is the story that was given instead. And it gets mired and steeped in the area that it was being told. And if you think about that area, Pakistan, India, South Asia, think about some of the incredibly fanciful stories, both fantastic and horrifying, that have come out of that region. And you could probably piece together like, oh, that would make sense. I could see why they would say that. It's like the Arthur C. Clarke kind of thing. Any sufficiently advanced technology to what is it, a lower class civilization would seem like magic. It's that same kind of thing. So yeah, it's intriguing, and we're halfway through, and I really cannot wait to see how they finish up with episode 6, and then what we get moving forward with the Marvels. I can hear the pitter patter of my puppy's feet.
He loves that show. Otisburg? I mean,
Otisburg's the man. I mean, and he'll tell anybody anything at length forever. Like, oh yeah, did you like that show? Okay, buddy. I don't know if we need to go that far. Oh, excuse me. Not my favorite character, but you do you. Oh, look at this. We got Sammy. Hiya, fellas. How you doing, Sammy? Hey.
That's a good call. Hi, Sammy.
Hey, Sammy.
Apparently, I'm the only guy here who doesn't want to fuck Anne Margaret. That is an actual thing that he said at a party after the wrap of Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All the executives were there, and they were all like pawing at Anne Margaret, and he stood up. They were like, oh, say something to blah, 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 blah. And he was like, okay, sure. And he stands up and goes, apparently I'm the only guy here that doesn't want to fuck Anne Margaret. Oh, Paulin. Oh, Templeton, you card you.
It says crunchy.
Humble. For anybody
I only have one thing to say about this, because I've seen the first episode, and she is the most likable Marvel character that I have ever seen. On like first jump, when you look at the character, I'm like, I love her. I'm like, I want to know what she had for breakfast. I love everything about this character. I want to see her being dramatic and angsty. I want to see her talking with her little friend that made her those gloves and all that. I'm like, everything about this character, I friggin' adore.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I was like signed on from the word go, which is I think is a huge check mark in the win column for Marvel. I will say this in regards to it, like it was great to jump into and have an actual like teen like show / character that people younger could start to relate to a bit more. Things that I've seen recently from people in their 30s and 40s, though, one comment that really stuck out with me is just like, oh, well, it's about time that they started making these things fun again. To that, I say, you do realize that the end of the Infinity Saga saw half of the population of Earth go away with a snap, and then 5 years later have all of those same people brought back with another snap. What about that, after everything that you would honestly think, like geopolitical issues, right? How could everything possibly be sunshiny and happy in the direct aftermath of that? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, that is a horrifying thing to have happened. And you just think that they built everything connected and continuing on from one point for so long. Yeah, it's going to be a while before you're going to get like happy-go-lucky, like clicking your heels in the rain, dancing around and singing with Marvel Studios movies. It just, I don't
Unless
know
you
what
watch the Eternals.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't mind the Eternals, but I mean, I am also somebody who didn't really care about the Eternals, even as like a comic book reader. Like, I've tried over the years. I have tried, and I couldn't do it, man. The closest I got to enjoying it, and I'm not saying I enjoyed it, but the closest I got to enjoying it in the comics was when Neil Gaiman did a run, and even then I was like, okay, this is not normal for me. Like, why am I reading a Neil Gaiman written comic and not enjoying it? Like,
of course, everybody tried to read the Eternals in college.
Bleh. You know, and I mean, I respect the hell out of. I respect. Yeah, just one page. You know, just one page. You hanging out with friends. They're like, hey, just read a page, man. You'll fucking love it. Like,
check it out. It's Icarus. He can shoot bolts from his eyes. Oh, okay. Oh.
Why is it spelled with a K though? Shut the fuck up and read it. Oh, okay. Read my free comic. Okay. Sorry.
I don't get it. Circe was in the Odyssey, and she was a bad guy. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah,
I'm sorry I brought us down there.
No, that's fine. But I didn't mind the movie. I didn't mind the movie Eternals. I actually do feel it was most definitely a necessary tale to tell, especially because they brought in Eros at the end of it, and it's going to be interesting to see how they approach that moving forward, because I don't know how much people honestly picked up on the fact that, like, Eros, or Star Fox, as he was known, like, in the Avengers and stuff, he is the brother of Thanos.
Yeah.
You know, and like, see how that kind of plays out. See what kind of like side glances people give him when they're like, wait, you're the purple dude's brother? I don't know about you. Shit.
I'm announcing that, just saying.
But,
you know.
Yeah. Oh, that went over like a lead balloon in the first Avengers movie. Yeesh.
I figured that they're going to link the 10 rings in her bracelet somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think of that. That's an excellent point, Yo-Yo. For sure. Shit. Fucking left field with that one.
Yeah.
Turn your mic up, bro. Like, that's an excellent point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. I mean,
it makes sense, like, with how they seem to be going, to go that path.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And the thing is, I think with what you're saying, it could still very well end up being the same kind of thing that I was talking about too. Like, you could definitely blend those two ideas. And I mean, hopefully we're behind the curve, and Marvel's already 50 moves ahead of us. Like, yeah, okay, that's yesterday's news, kids. We don't even think about that shit. We wrote it years ago.
That's Marvel's MO though. They're always 50 steps ahead of us.
Yeah, but not with casting if they're going with Aaron Taylor Johnson again.
That's not Marvel. That's Sony. Don't you dare.
Okay, that's fair. So maybe they'll learn.
It's Morbin time.
Like, no, we're just gonna erase this. And guess who's gonna play this character? Jared Leto.
I don't know. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring in Mr. Positivity for a second. Leo loves everything. He's such a better nerd than me.
I don't think he loved Morbius.
I mean, there's a lot to not love. I do not fault Morbius for the people that were in Morbius. I fault Morbius for the people who made Morbius. There is a world of difference there. The exact feeling I was trying to avoid, that I was so glad they squashed it, because it was so ill received at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, is exactly what came to full fruition at the end of Morbius. It was like the worst run up to a punchline in the history of fucking anything, really. I saw the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 and I was like, oh god, crisis averted, guys. We almost got them giving us like a Sinister Six movie before we got anything like even really halfway decent. And then I saw the end of Morbius and I was like, oh, it was just, you guys hit the pause button on that. You didn't decide to stop. Well, this is going to be terrible. I mean, fucking Michael Keaton and Jared Leto at the end of that movie. I would watch that movie every day at home if I could afford to replace my TV every day at home.
I was just thinking all this distrust for Sony, the folks that gave us the PlayStation 5.
Where's my PlayStation 5?
Oh, yeah, oh really? Where is there one?
Leo's house.
At Leo's house? Okay.
And
Come on,
mine.
kids.
Okay,
Hop in the shaggin' wagon.
So
We're
apparently
driving
you
to
get one in
Connecticut. Seems like
I
an
have
awful way
one.
to go to fucking use PlayStation Plus so I can just play Toomba. I don't know.
Speaking of PlayStation, someone meant one of the things we wanted to mention was the PlayStation Plus
Options,
Premium, and
the tiers. Is that
yeah.
what it is?
So I gotta pull up the share screen here because I have it pulled up in my
Yeah, share that screen.
Full disclosure, I signed up.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I also use Justin's sign up. No wait.
We should look at that and see if you can actually.
Can you? I know. Can you share it? Like, all right,
I'm gonna
listen,
look
I'm
into
gonna
it.
I'm gonna use the credentials on this day between these times, and you can use them on these days and these times. Perfect.
Yeah, just like with our adult check ID. Is that still a thing?
Why does that sound familiar?
Well, if this was a podcast in the year 2001, you'd be getting that joke.
Oh, well, considering it is decidedly not either one of those things, the year or that podcast, I am so lost.
That was a thing that you did to verify your age back in the day, so you could look at illicit websites. So.
Illicit websites.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to pull it up. Give me a second.
Illicit websites.
We're just filling time, Steve. That's what we're doing.
It sounds like the name of a movie on Cinemax at like 1 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, starring Shannon Tweed.
Shannon Tweed, son of a bitch.
Right.
Words right out of my mouth.
Share
Last
screen.
thing I saw her in, she was the breastfeeding mom in Me, Myself, and Irene by the Farrelly brothers.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure. Check it up. Check me against IMDb.
I mean, generally you're right, so I'm just gonna believe you. Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen now?
No,
not yet.
Hold on, I'm adding it.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I forgot that I'm Neo Leo on this one.
Okay. So down to the prices here. So basically
Essential? What does it feed you? Get the fuck out of here.
So this is the primary one. So back up a little bit. Originally, their PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now is what they originally had. And what they did was they merged the PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus together and came up with these tiers. So Essential is the cheapest version where you get basically what you had for PlayStation Plus: monthly games, online multiplayer, and exclusive discounts. And then the extra and premium is basically your PlayStation Now with some incentives. So PlayStation Plus Extra is the game catalog. Perfect example, you can get Spider-Man Miles Morales and the Spider-Man original like Spider-Man game that came out with the PlayStation 4. And then the premium, which I upgraded to, you get Classics catalog, which is PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PSP games. You can demo games and you can cloud stream. So that's
But the PlayStation 3 games, however, you can't download those. You can only play those streaming, right? Because from what I understand, the PlayStation 3 games were, quote, so difficult to make that streaming them is really the only option that they had available to them to get them out to the public.
right. So about the upgrades, though, if you are an Essential member and your Essential membership is the Essential membership is like $59.99 a month. And
A month?
No, not a
No,
month.
sorry, for
Year.
a year.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Thank you, Yo-Yo.
Like, I will shut this all down right now.
And then you want to upgrade to premium, which what I did tonight, and basically you're not paying $119.99. You're going to be paying like $50 and something cents because you're paying for the remainder of your 12-month period.
Oh, they're prorating it.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
yeah, enjoy the rest of this year then.
So
like I said, it's a long way to go to Platoon, but
well, it started on the 13th, so the 12th or the 13th on that. So I signed up right away because I, like most people, was looking to see, will they have Dino Crisis? They do not. They do not have Dino Crisis.
Not yet.
Was it worth it?
Every other Resident Evil, they have there's a lot of content on there actually. So it's like, as much as I'd love to be negative about it, I can't. It's there's a lot of good games on there to play.
There are.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're an extra member, I have some of the games here. God of War, 2K22, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Returnal.
Because everybody wants to play a game from 2 years ago, of sports, right?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Outdated teams.
I mean, I'm not going to list all the games, but give me a game name and I'll try and find it because I have the A to Z list.
Well, they have Injustice 1 and 2 on there with all the downloadable content, and you can play Mortal Kombat 11.
All this the
Rogue
South
Galaxy.
Yeah,
there's a shout out for Retro Redoctopus. Yeah, Rogue Galaxy's on there.
WWE 2K 22, the new one, the new WWE game, 2K game you can play. So there's so many options. Even the classics catalog, you have
some Lego games are on there.
Worms Armageddon, World
Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah. So there's just
a good game.
I love those games.
Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back. There's just a bunch of
for his earlier work.
Psychonauts on it?
No, it's not. But you can get it cheap enough on there. Psychonauts is amazing. Good call. Yeah.
They have Star Wars Racer Revenge, Force Unleashed 2, Bounty Hunter, Starfighter, Force Unleashed Ultimate Sith Edition, and Star Wars games. They also have Super Star Wars as well. And the Siphon Filter games as well.
Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
Siphon Filter.
That's all I really remember. But I never played the game. So
yeah, that's it. That's all you need to know about Siphon Filter.
Is that a Tom Clancy based thing? Or?
Sure.
Yeah, why not, right? Or am I thinking of Rainbow Six? I don't know.
It's all Tom Clancy.
They're all advertised.
I think this was Clive Cussler.
Pretty much they're going to be adding more
Clive
games.
Cussler was Tom Clancy. Don't you try to pull a fast one on me.
Clive Cussler's Siphon Filter. Basically, the plane is a submarine in a desert, and it's a treasure hunt. Actually, that's more of like an Uncharted, but
yeah, I was gonna say Nathan Drake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds like it's right up quite a few folks' alleys. I personally don't pay any attention to anything coming out of PlayStation for right now because I have a PS4 and I'm loath to make any moves with any games for PlayStation until I can get a PlayStation 5, and that's probably not going to happen until 2026. So I'll stick with my Switch for now. Thanks.
It's sad, but you're probably accurate with that because they're so hard to come by.
It's ridiculous.
I've kind of just given up, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm good with the 4 for now.
I'm good with what I have. You know what I mean? Like what the games I have, own and borrowed and what have you. But I'm not really gonna go out and purchase new items for a system that is not going to be around once the 5 becomes more ubiquitous. That's just the way it goes. And 2, more and more games going to be coming out for 5. So do I want to get the stuff for 4 when I could hold off and get it for 5 when I eventually get it? That's where I am right now. And instead I'll sit down and play Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch. I'll just enjoy myself.
If you download games now, if you buy the PlayStation Store download, it does have the option to upgrade to 5 when you make that jump. So that's one of the benefits of getting it in the PlayStation Store.
And
Now, I'm not here to talk to you guys about PlayStation, but that's.
But it does seem like it came up organically, so here I am.
I
don't
know
you think it's the best way to get entertainment at home? By gum,
I will fucking mute you. I see.
And I know.
Waiting
I
for
know-
the hand to pull off a bag of money.
Just a big hook coming from the side.
Oh, look at this! That's
But
Just
Justin,
a bag with a fucking dollar sign on it.
sticking with games, Justin, I know why you're here for one reason, and your podcast says it all. And I'm again going to share my screen because I pulled up the gameplay footage. So,
oh, sweet.
So Justin, why don't you start us off with this?
Well, you take an ordinary bed sheet and you just wrap it. Oh, Shredder's Revenge, Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge is what we're talking about.
Were you sharing something, Steve? Because
I am.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
We'll get there.
Sorry.
It's great though. This game
I
is
got
so
it.
much fun. Have you played it yet, Steve?
Not yet.
No. It's an inexpensive game too, coming in roughly less than $30. So
I ordered it from Limited Run Games, so I have no idea.
Good man.
Thank you. I have no idea when the fuck I'm gonna get it.
The downloadable version is out well before the other version is. So
I know.
Ah! Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know why ad was playing.
Immersion there.
Again, I don't know why an ad was playing.
Do you like taking flies off your arms?
Not me. I leave them all day. Hey, that looks like one of those fellows they fight.
So
the foot. So much fun.
It's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time a little bit.
Yes. And there's actually a breakdown in this that tells you what all their stats are, like who has the best range, who has the best speed, who has the best power. And like the gameplay is noticeably different for most of the characters. You can play as April, you can play as Splinter, and there's a bonus character of Casey Jones.
Yes,
the first time that you beat the game, you actually get Casey Jones.
It looks like there's items for quest on this too. I just saw like secret diary page found.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yep, there's they call them cameo appearances in here. So there's a lot of characters from the original series. The 4 main turtles are voiced by the original actors for each one from the original series. So April, Splinter, and Casey are not, and of course Shredder. Obviously, James Avery has passed away, so no. But Rocksteady and Bebop are there. You've got their voices too. So it's fun. I mean, I've played through this. There's 16 levels. I've played through it on my own, like at least 8 times. It's just it doesn't get old.
So well, I mean, you say that now, but talk to us at time number 9, pal. So talk to us then. All right, guys, I was wrong. 9 is the saturation point.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's the Playmates Bebop.
Yeah.
So what's the average play time on this going through all 16 levels? Is it like a day and a half?
4 to 6 minutes per level, depending on the level, like the skating ones. Hey, Tom, Shredder's Revenge, absolutely love. Yes, absolutely. If you're playing on, I'll have to hit you up. If you're playing on PlayStation, we could maybe get a game going together, Tom. Yeah. Yeah,
I will not be playing on PlayStation, so tell me how that goes.
Yeah. It was great. I had one where I was playing the last level, and you could just have people drop in, and we had 6 players all fighting Shredder, and I'm like, this is amazing, because I thought I was gonna have to do it myself, and I just hit like the triangle button. It's like, oh, let people join. I'm like, okay, sure. 6 people. It was insane. It was great.
One thing I like about this, I know Brandon mentioned Limited Run, is all the packages that they're doing for this game, and they're making it kind of a love letter too. And Justin, I know I shared some of the things that they're doing with this. I mean, they have some of the editions that they're putting out, and I think there's a different website that's doing like vinyl of the soundtrack and everything.
Yeah, it's a good soundtrack too.
Yeah, I'm I haven't purchased it yet, but it's on my list of things to get. It's on my list of things to get.
I'm probably gonna fucking buy it right after the show. So
you are
pulling
pulling a
a
Leo.
limited run. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm getting it physically from limited run, but like, you know, who knows when the fuck I'm gonna get that, dude?
Oh yeah, they take a while getting the physical stuff out.
I ordered it and then I was like, wait a minute, pre-orders end July 24th. Carry the 2. Oh no, that's over a month away. Fuck, I'm not getting this thing until November.
Plus, you get your Pizza Hut coupon with that too.
Yeah, that probably expired in December of 1991.
I read To Kill a Mockingbird for this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, oh cool, a free personal pan pizza coupon for Pizza Hut and a Book It pin. Fuck.
They didn't seem to have that. I was just looking at Pizza Hut the other day, and they didn't have that on their online menu. The personal pan pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Where the hell was? There's no. The closest Pizza Hut to me now is like a 40-minute drive.
There's a Pizza Hut near you?
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm playing pretty fast and loose with the word near, but
nearest one to me is in Providence. What's the point?
I don't know if the one in Worcester was still open. I think that was like the closest one I can think of. And I'm in Birmingham now, so that's,
there used to be one in Randolph a few years ago.
We're back.
Randolph. I'm not talking to you anymore.
So, if I'm understanding you correctly, you wish you could trading places with me? That's okay. Sorry,
Yes,
a bit of a leap
because-
there, Dorkening. I'm sorry.
Because I would also like to be coming to America.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna accept that. I love that movie so much that I'm gonna accept that.
I grew up watching Coming to America ad nauseum. I love that movie, and I honestly did not see Trading Places until like I was like 10, and I was really thrown off because everyone was like, "Oh, if you love Coming to America, you're gonna love Trading Places." And then I was like, "Well, I liked Trading Places, but it's no Coming to America, sir. Like, I will watch that movie any day. I mean, I developed like the biggest crush on one of the flower the pedal disperser women in that movie, and it turns out she ended up on Spin City for years on ABC. She played Janelle. Yeah, when I connected
that movie
the
had,
dots,
like the first on-screen breasts I've ever seen.
yeah, that was her.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
her. Yes, that movie was great though. I mean, let alone that, just like yes, fuck you too. Who hasn't felt like that on any given morning?
And it had Samuel L. Jackson in it, so you know it's now a perfect film.
Yeah.
Yes, that was what
Views of the
everything
Dorkening are not
hinged upon was Sam Jackson showing up to rob McDowell's. See, they have the golden arches. I have the golden arc. Oh man.
You gotta love John Amos.
Leo, man. Anyway. Anyway. So I definitely plan on buying Shredder's Revenge like digitally, like I said, like right after this, because I've looked at too many videos and I'm hearing you guys speak about it, and I'm like, I just gotta bite the bullet, hop on the good foot, and do the bad
Just
thing.
so much fun. It's just like when you remember how much fun video games are, and you're like, wow, I'm enjoying this, and I don't have an end goal. I'll just play this one level because I like it. I'm on a skateboard. Cool.
Well, I've been on a real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kick lately anyway, because I recently purchased the 2014 series from Nickelodeon on Vudu, because I couldn't find it on Blu-ray or anything, and I wanted it in high definition. And I unfortunately was working part-time at I don't want to say the name of the place, but it's a national chain. It's a particular depot you would go to if you wanted to work on your home. And yes, like a house depot. But my hours, because I worked there part-time, I would work in the evenings during the week, and I told them flat out, I will not close this store for you on the weekends. I refuse. You will have me nights on weekdays. I will open for you, and then I will get the hell out of here and have the rest of my day with my wife or my friends or whatever. And so I would open the store at 6 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And because of that, I couldn't see the show on Nickelodeon on Saturday mornings anymore the way I was.
It was on Sundays here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, it was on Saturdays for a while. They did shift it later on in the series, but that also confused the hell out of my DVR. So I started missing episodes left and right. And I finally, last week was like, you know what? I don't think I actually finished that series. So I started right off where I had left, which was all the Fugitoid stuff in space. And Dara actually caught me watching an episode of it the other night, and she was like, "What?"
Fugitoid.
There we go. But she was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "Oh yeah, turtles in space. This is so far down the line in the series, honey. If you were to sit down and try to watch this as is, you would be mightily confused. But believe me, and I know this sounds exactly like the type of thing you would expect a geek who's super into something to say, but it makes more sense if you just watch the show from the beginning." And she was like, "Okay, pal, if you say so." And so she just like let me finish watching the episode. And I got to the point now where they're back on Earth, so I'm seeing a little bit of the Karai stuff, and I do remember seeing episodes here and there because I was looking at her. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she ends up becoming like a mutated snake or something at some point. And right now, that is most certainly not the case. She's hanging out with some like Japanese witch girl, which is also kind of cool. Like
Shinmagami.
Shimagami, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, she has a yo-yo that she fights with. So.
Oh, all right. I don't know why that's ironic, but I'll take your word for it.
We have yo-yo.
Oh, okay. Yes. I feel like that's more coincidence than irony, but sure. I also use yo-yo to fight. What? I mean, I'm not a very strong man, but I can push him towards my enemy. Yo-yo.
Get him.
I don't have to be fast. I just have to be faster than you. But yeah, so I'm definitely like in the right frame of mind to take part of some, very classic Turtles shenanigans, and this is something that's just been mightily appealing to me.
Who's your guys' favorite turtle? That's
Donatello.
You're Don?
Yeah.
That's a tough one, honestly.
Not at all. Donatello.
I'm a Leonardo guy, so
I don't have a particular favorite. If I were to pick one,
that's exactly what he asked you to do. So
Raphael.
That's a tough one for me, honestly.
Just say Michelangelo.
I mean, that'd be the natural thing to continue to make it whole, but it would honestly have to be between Donatello and Michelangelo, between the two.
Yeah, those are the two that are on my podcast logo, actually, Donnie and Mike.
But,
yeah, it's pretty fun. Whenever you ask someone, it's usually like 25% here, here, and here. Just kind of depends on your personality.
I'm also waiting for the cat to show up.
Meow.
One of the cats is named after Michelangelo.
Oh. Nice.
My brother's cat is named Karai. So.
Oh wow! You're really into it. Okay,
that's very cool. I dig it. But yeah, for me, it's always been Donnie. I liked the smart turtle. I thought it was cool, and also the fact that like for the most part his brothers never really gave him shit about being an egghead. For the most part.
Yeah, certainly not in the first cartoon.
No, yeah, it's the simple fact that when push came to shove, they were all very capable of doing very many and different things. They all had their strengths and their weaknesses. But Donatello was always the one who was coming up with a lot of the equipment and stuff that they wanted to use to better their ability to, solve this, that, or the other thing. And I always thought that was pretty neat. He was the closest thing you got to a Sherlock Holmes within the group. I will say though, I was very impressed with the 2014 iteration, because the turtles themselves actually say to Splinter at one point, like, who's the best? Who is the best? And because it's always like this, knuckle fight between Leonardo and Raphael, and finally Splinter was like, "You really want to know who's the best? It is Michelangelo." And they were like, "What?" Like, yeah, he's the only one who lives in the moment. He keeps his mind focused on what he's doing presently at all times. And then he took, like, I can't even remember. I think it was like a pool ball or something, and just like whipped it at Michelangelo from across the sewer. And Michelangelo is like eating a piece of pizza, and he just goes and catches it, no problem. And Raphael and Leonardo, as Splinter walks by, they're both just like, what? He's like, yeah, he's the most skilled. I mean, you guys have other qualities that make you good for leadership and such, but push came to shove in a fight. I want him behind me, not you.
That actually comes back a couple times too, where they talk about him with that sort of fluidness. So pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly the reason why out of all of them, like, Michelangelo gets stranded in Dimension X for a good stretch of time. I'm pretty sure that the only other turtle that might have had a chance would have been Donatello, because he would have been able to, like, figure out a way to breathe and what have you. But because Michelangelo just rolls with it, he was fine. He was there for what, like a month or something like that, or 2 months. And when they found him, he was just like, "I'm Savage Mikey, yo. Yeah, I rule Dimension X, man." It's like, yeah, you do. You really do, Mikey. But yeah, that being said, we're talking about some fun nostalgia and what have you. Did you guys see the trailer / teaser for Stranger Things season 4 part 2?
Oh yeah.
I know it's out. I just did not watch it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen the season or just the trailer?
The trailer.
Okay. So
it's
we
like part 1, only more.
It's like
different.
It's like the next number past 1.
There's 2 episodes left. Who's gonna die?
And it's supposed to be like a feature film length type of episodes. So like
they're both like over 2 hours, right?
The last one is over 2 hours. This one is the first in the second volume is I think an hour and 50 something minutes. So it's
close enough. That's close enough for government work,
Yeah.
You say to me like, "Oh, it's an hour and 56 minutes." We're like, that's fucking 2 hours. Let's not split hairs. If I said that to my wife, she'd throw a pillow at me, and that's the nicest thing she'd throw at me. Hopefully, that's the lightest thing next to her. I'm just kidding. My wife's not really that violent. You gotta be
like, wow, a Cable Ace Award.
I have to make sure she hears me say that, otherwise she will hurt me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, like that's a sizable amount of Stranger Things to have in quote 2 episodes for the final part.
Yeah, this is not the last season of Game of Thrones by any means.
No. I've really enjoyed this season for how they've done a lot to, how do I put this? Once again, I see complaints being lobbed at Stranger Things, and especially like with this season now, and people are just like, "Oh, well, here we go," like just ripping off this and ripping off that again. It's like, if you've been watching from the first season, I don't understand how you don't understand that this has all been homage from the word go.
Yeah,
like they've been very upfront about the influences on their lives and the work that they do. So this should not be a surprise to anybody. Like, "Oh yeah, I remember the first time I saw that in ET." It's like, well, I mean, you kind of saw a bunch of kids on bikes in ET. Yes. I don't think you saw them going up against a fucking Demogorgon. I'm pretty sure that's not something I had seen before. Okay, yes, very good. you did see Firestarter, where a young girl tries to get away from a government project that essentially gave her abilities. That is not quite the same thing as what we're seeing in Stranger Things, though. You know, once again, there's a difference between ripoff and inspiration. You know, these guys love Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment. They love Stephen King. They clearly have a deep and abiding affinity for 80s horror and schlock. You know, you throw all of these things into a blender, and of course you're gonna get the kind of stuff that we've been seeing. And thank God that we got back to where the story is engrossing and the characters have developed to a point where we need to know what's going to happen next with them, instead of them going on a massive faux pas of inorganic world building like they did in season 2 with the introduction of
yes,
6, was that her name?
Season 2 is such a dog. And it's like I'm like, oh man, do I continue watching this?
You know, season 2 would have been, at the very least, like a decent sophomore effort if they hadn't just pulled 11 willy-nilly out of Hawkins and stuck her with somebody you had never seen before and did not care about. You know, and that's
the
other
exception of Will Byers. She's the lamest character from seasons 1 and 2, right? Like she's cool and stuff like that when she uses her powers and all that, but she's not compelling. She's a unit. She's a modus operandi to get you where you're going. She's a MacGuffin, you know?
Yeah.
And in this season, she's the least interesting story arc.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm like, you know what? Show me more Argyle, dude. That's what I want to see.
Oh yeah, for real. I'll tell you what. I want to see more Murray. That's what I want.
Oh my god.
Did you catch the Carpenter reference in the teaser?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a flamethrower. Yeah. The Carpenters. Like he starts singing, "Why do birds?" No.
And it's in a better range.
Don't sing any more of it. We'll get dinged on copyright, kids.
Oh, okay.
And it's in him with the flamethrower in the trailer is in a better ratio than people saw The Thing in a Fathom Events screening on Sunday.
Oh yeah, right. I had heard about that. I figured you would be all over that on your show too. So I was, yeah.
Yeah, like I've just my two go-tos growing up were A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's still my number one like favorite horror franchise. I'm literally going to see a Nightmare on Elm Street marathon in the middle of July at the Coolidge Corner Theater. I actually have 8 pairs of the original Freddy's Dead 3D glasses,
wow,
unworn, that I am going to bring with me that night because they are showing Freddy's Dead with the original 3D.
Are you switching between them through each clip, each scene, or
what do you mean?
Because you said you're bringing them with you.
Oh no, I mean like I'm bringing a pair. I bought them, and the dude who I bought them from was like, "Oh hey man, I'm sorry I screwed up on getting that shipped out to you. I put in a few extra pairs for you." And I was like, "Okay, like sure." And I mean they're straight up like Freddy's Dead, the same exact 3D glasses that I wore when I saw the movie in theaters in 4th grade. I mean, it even has the fucking Barks root beer coupon on them still. Yeah,
because it's got bite.
Yeah, indeed. more bite than that fucking movie had. That's for sure.
So this is number 1, or is this? You said Freddy's Dead.
That's for Freddy's Dead. That was the only one that was in 3D. But I loved the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise growing up.
Were you one of the Nightmare on Elm Street kids from the podcast? No. Okay.
No. I'm very confused by the question you just asked me. I mean, I like to think of myself as Nightmare on Elm Street kid.
Oh, something Patsy was talking about a while back. So.
Oh, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I certainly was a Nightmare on Elm Street kid. I watched those movies ad nauseum. My favorite ones growing up were parts 1, 2, and 3. because I always looked at them as that was the Thompson saga, the Nancy Thompson saga,
Nancy, yep.
because the first movie is clearly Nancy going head on with Freddy, and I respect the hell out of part 2. Like, and I'll be perfectly honest here, I did not get any of the gay subtext in part 2, Freddy's Revenge, until much later in life, because I was just a kid watching a horror movie, and that right over my head. What I loved about it was that it shifted the idea of Freddy from being this thing that haunts your dreams and could kill you to turning it into full-on body horror and possession. It actually it's like a haunted house / possession / body horror, and the shift is amazing because that movie is actually it's horrifying. I mean, some of the effects in it are incredible too. And then part 3, you close everything out by having Nancy come back. And spoiler alert for a fucking old ass movie, everybody, if you haven't seen it, Nancy dies by the end of it. So that closes out that arc effectively. And you can just kind of look at the next 2 movies as like, oh, the Springwood Sanitarium Kids saga, which, you know, it starts off with Kirsten and Kincaid and all of them and getting whacked, and then Kristen passing on her abilities to Alice, and then how that follows through into part 5 with the Dream Child. And then Freddy's Dead is just like, hey, let's see how much cocaine we can do and write a Freddy script. Like, great job, everyone. And then Wes Craven came out with New Nightmare several years later, which was him really dipping his toes into the idea of making a meta horror movie. And it was very much a proto Scream film. And he hammered out all the things he needed to, figured out what worked and what didn't, what was too much for an audience to deal with, what was just enough. And that's why he was able to so perfectly execute Kevin Williamson's script for that movie. But like, I loved those flicks growing up, absolutely adored them. And Stephen King's It, the miniseries and then the book, which I read way too early. I was 11. I sneaked it, and it was just, I'm glad I read it, but at the same time, it was probably not the best idea. And that movie, it really did a number on me as well. And, you know, you think about it, they're both characters, both entities that kind of live off of killing and consuming kids and their fears and everything. And watching season 4 of Stranger Things has just been like a masterclass of 2 people who clearly had like the same fascination rooted in a fear of those particular entities and making it their own by thrusting it into the midst of a story that they had created just a few years before. And the inclusion of things like Robert Englund as the tragic father figure character for this, you know, this urban legend family, and then the little bits of imagery that you get from each one of those stories that this was filtered through. I mean, the house can be very reminiscent of, you know, 1428 Elm Street, or you could look at it as being like the house on Neibolt Street in It. You know, Vecna is very, you know, Vecna loves to torture these kids, but he also seems to like feed off of their guilt and their shame that he makes them relive as he's going through it. I also
he's
caught
Catholic.
Yes, very Catholic.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like Eastern European Catholic too. Nice. And but also I made note of the fact that when Henry kills his mother and sister, it happens in 1959. And he shows up as Vecna again and starts killing these kids in 1986. It's a 27-year difference, just like the cycles of Pennywise the Clown
No
in
kidding.
Stephen King's It.
Wow.
Yeah. Once I pieced that together, I was like, son of a bitch. Oh, you boys, you Duffer boys. I got you. Yeah, this could be really, really great by the end of this season, and it has me very excited to see what they have planned for season 5. I will say I don't want Eddie to die, which means he's probably going to
Eddie's
die.
gonna stick around. Eddie and Robin and Nancy can die. Like I've been over Nancy from the first season. You know,
I think one of the original 4, like Dustin, Lucas, one of them, I think is gonna bite it.
I don't want any of the original kids to die.
I don't think they will. I mean,
But-
if anybody, it should be Mike.
You know, I mean, if anybody, it's probably going to be Steve.
Well, Steve's not one of the kids. You think?
No, but I should say like the original grouping.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Steve because
I just want to see the internet melt down because people are saying like if Steve dies, like I'm gonna send Netflix my therapy bill and all that stuff. I just want to see the internet melt down just if that happens.
You just look at it. Joe Keery can't really get a haircut because he needs to. No. I mean, like,
I love him in Free Guy.
He can't. Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, look at the fact that he was in Free Guy and it was such a successful movie and he did a great job in it alongside Jodie Comer and Taika Waititi, but he can't get a haircut, which means that's automatically going to push him away from certain roles because they're going to be looking for a particular look. And he's going to be tied to having to do this show. Not to say that he's miserable doing it, but he's clearly getting other opportunities and he's probably having to pass them up because of certain criteria having to do with him being in Stranger Things.
Well, that's where I agree. That's my theory is one of the original kids with Mike biting it because Finn Wolfhard's career is taking off with the reboot of It and It 2 and being in a bunch
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes, and they're doing the sequel soon, so his career is taking off too. So
yeah, and let that kid get a haircut too. For Christ's sake.
If the producers of Ghostbusters Afterlife are listening, you don't have to have him in it. It's okay.
Yeah, for real.
Like it's okay. Like you could go with his girlfriend in the movie who was more charismatic than him.
If his
and I love the movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the vast majority of that movie too. I truly did. Like, there was only one part of it. I mean, it's far past it now. I can talk about it. The only part of the movie that I had a problem with was their placement of the words "for Harold," because it was still very much the movie, and that is not something that should have been in the movie. You shouldn't be watching a movie and a particular story and have it force you to think about what happens outside of the movie. And as much as I am aware of the fact that Harold Ramis passed away several years ago on February 24th, I don't need the movie, while it's still just got like 30 seconds left, to take his character and give him a nice, bittersweet send-off and essentially turn it into For Harold in the Sky. Don't need that. Have your valediction and your in memoriam to him right there before you show everything else at the end of the movie. That was it. That was like my biggest thing. I felt it was just a little too precious.
I mean, I was going to go with the J.K. Simmons appearance that really didn't go anywhere, but other than that, like,
no,
okay.
I fully, the second I saw J.K. Simmons show up, first of all, I was like, oh, well, that's fucking clever that Ivo Shandor would have like put himself there to try to like see what he could do to convince Gozer the Gozerian to like let him be.
It's funny he did that whole V.I. Lenin thing too, where he encased himself in glass and.
Yeah. But I wasn't surprised to see him at all because it's a Jason Reitman movie.
Well, don't be surprised.
Well, you know that, right? Like
everybody knows that. Yeah.
No. J.K. Simmons shows up in every one of Jason Reitman's movies.
Yeah, like Juno.
Yeah, Juno. Thank You for Smoking. So on and so forth.
That's an uncut gem. Thank You for Smoking.
I like that movie.
It is a good movie. Yeah.
Don't be surprised in the sequel of Ghostbusters Afterlife 2, whatever the name of it is, if they do the same thing like the for Harold at the very end they do for Dad or for Ivan.
I'll expect that right after I see Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, fuck you.
For Melissa McCarthy? She's not dead. Maybe
I call
right
her
now.
the Antichrist of cinema.
Listen.
I just started watching a
no,
show.
No,
she
I
has
don't.
on
I don't
Netflix
want to.
today.
I actually do want to see that show that she made with her husband. God.
Yeah, I started watching it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I actually thought. Here's the thing. I like Melissa McCarthy. I have no problem with.
Kind of funny
McCarthy.
around her.
The problem for me with Ghostbusters Answer the Call was it was such a waste of genuinely funny and or comedic talent by Paul Feig and Sony.
Yeah.
Once again, it's like I can't blame or fault the people in it for doing the things that they were told to and like encouraged to do. Much like I can't fault the people in Morbius for how bad I thought that movie was. It's all
as much
Sony.
as you want to try.
Well, no, I mean, I try to be.
This
I try to
feels
be.
like the Death Star
If you
argument
don't
from
give people
Clerks.
like good actors something to actually work with, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Exactly, because I think Leslie Jones and oh my god,
I
and
love
Kate
Leslie
McKinnon
Jones.
are fucking hysterical.
Hilarious.
They are two of the funniest people on the face of the planet. And when I saw what the two of them were essentially reduced to in that movie, I was frustrated to say the least. And when I watched the trailer, like the two trailers or whatever that came out before the movie was released, Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones were the only ones that made me come close to like chuckling while I saw those trailers. And you know, I will say this much: out of all of them, Kristen Wiig is the one that I find to be the most one note. I'm
No,
fucking
she's
kinda,
so bland.
I'm over her and her like, oh my god, I'm just like I'm gonna talk like kind of super awkward and fast because you know
She's like unflavored ice milk on The Simpsons, you know?
Mm.
Unflavored for me.
Glass of water, perfect for dipping crackers. Ugh,
Exactly.
Christ.
That was her. It's like, oh, and she likes Thor. Go figure, you know?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is like Chris Hemsworth, like what a funny dude, and
Yeah, he stole every scene he was in.
yeah,
Mike
it's but I'm not trying to bash that movie because I know that there are plenty of people out there that really enjoy it. My big thing altogether is just like the waste of talent on it, like how it was squandered, and the needlessly confusing narrative for leading into it, when this took place within Ghostbusters. Like, okay, so they're the first Ghostbusters. Why did they just walk by a bust of Dr. Egon Spengler, paranormal researcher, in the college they were in? Like, it's very confusing. It was just, you know, even in the trailer, they're like 20, you know, what was it, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, a group of blah 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 saved New York City, and this time a new group has to answer the call. And it's like, so is this a continuation? Is this something that happens after? And seeing the movie, I mean, they just went through and tried to find high notes and apply those to the story and say like, oh no, see, we had the Stay Puft thing in there for a second. And like, oh no, we have a giant ghost like on the symbol. That's like the same kind of thing. So big white creepy thing that looks almost kind of friendly. You know, we nailed it. We're good. Like, no,
They tried to make Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed as a Ghostbusters movie. So
zoinks,
which is fine.
That would
It's
actually
just-
have made more sense.
Yeah, like it's
like if Scooby and the Gang showed up.
That's the
that would've
team
been
up
great.
I want to see. Reggie. Like, I think I'm all out of snacks. Me woo. Woo.
Have you tried this basmati? You can take an entire fish, put it in the basmati. Oh, sorry. wrong Dan Aykroyd. But
yeah, so I'm just saying, like, with all the stuff that we've been seeing coming from Stranger Things season 4 and what we're going to be seeing, how this ends at the beginning of July, we are likely going to see somebody die. I I don't want it to be Steve, but I'm preparing for it to be him. But who really have an emotional impact, because that's not something you're gonna do after such a build up and all kinds of speculation and just pick, barb somebody again. Like
Yeah.
nobody was all distraught about Chrissy or anything when she died at the beginning of this
And
season.
they finally gave Lucas something to do. They gave him a meaty part, and Lucas is like I see Lucas as like he was trying to be the leader. He was trying to be the guy to get everything going in season 1, and then like season 2, it's like just give him a girlfriend, whatever. It's like they're just trying to figure it. And I'm like, finally, my character, the character that I like. They're doing something with him. So it's like I hope that Lucas is not the guy either, because I really friggin' like him this season.
Yeah, and
that's even better.
I wouldn't be too surprised, because Caleb McLaughlin is a pretty talented kid too. And I wouldn't mind seeing him in more stuff for sure. But we'll see what happens. I'm mostly curious at this point. Like, I think it's a given. Like, okay, yeah, 11's going to get her powers back. There's going to be a showdown with Vecna, yada yada. I want to know how Joyce, Murray, and Hopper get back from Russia. That's the
like
thing.
A whole other show, man.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I have a theory with that, and this is with everything they were saying about Hawkins, and then it was going in California and Russia. I think this is going to have world implications, and they touched upon this on, I think, season 3 or something like that. That the Upside Down looks like the upside down version of the world. So maybe they're broadening their horizons. They're touching that water with season 4. We're seeing
maybe they're running up that hill.
Good call. But you're going through 3 different, points of the world. You have California and Nevada, and then you have Hawkins, and then you have Russia. Whatever happens in volume 2 with volume 5.
The thing is, in season 4, they very specifically state that the Upside Down is actually just a snapshot of Hawkins itself on the day that 11 breached permeated the barrier between the 2 worlds, and it's remained like that since. That's why when they went back into
Nancy's diary or whatever.
It was that same day. She's like, oh no, like I don't have the gun in here because I put it in here after, and this is all this happened on this day, and it's been like that since. Like, this is all the same day, just this is the Upside Down's version of Hawkins, because it got a glimpse into our world and was like, oh well, we need to look like that, and that's what it is. So like, I don't know that you're gonna see like an Upside Down Britain.
Well, there goes my theory. It was just something I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I do, man. I destroy people's hopes and dreams. So you're welcome.
No. It wasn't a hope and dream. It was just something. How can they go more outside Hawkins? Like, they tried with California and Russia, but
well, I mean, I'd say they succeeded for sure.
Yeah, they did. It's just more character development, maybe more them grieving over whoever's going to kick the bucket in season 4. Whatever's.
Well, I think it's important. I think it's important that Hawkins is the magnet. It's central to the story. Our characters are from there, so they have their own personal history within the town, their families, their friends, and because of that, and the fact that this, evil doesn't even begin to describe it. This absolutely putrid, horrifying entity is just on the other side of it and nowhere else. I mean, there's so much weight given to what happens because of the effects it will have on who they are, where they're from, and especially if they are newcomers to a place like, the Byers moving to California, they're not as tied to anybody or anything there as they are to Hawkins.
Yeah.
And for that part, we, the audience, aren't either, really. So to delve into that, I mean, maybe if you had another like sensitive like 11 around who was able to permeate that same barrier in a different location, then you would see that same location's mirror image, the upside down image, and it would be like similar to what we've seen in Hawkins. But otherwise, without that occurring, without that catalyst, we're always going to get pulled back to, to Project Arrowhead, whatever the fuck they want to call it. I just call it that because it's a Stephen King thing from The Mist.
I'm willing to bet that we see season 5 set up with Will Byers as the bad guy.
A lot of people have been speculating that Will was going to end up being like the big bad overall.
I mean, the other thing I was thinking of, because this is projected in the 80s, obviously we've seen the military involved in this somewhat, but we haven't seen them involved like in an antagonist way yet. We have to a degree, but not like in a serious way, probably in the last 2 episodes. Let's say they...
Well, hold on. Wait. I mean, they are the same people that just rolled up in the Byers' house, killed those 2 dudes.
Yes. Well,
right.
But like
they showed up at Paul Reiser's house.
Hear me out on this.
Okay.
So let's say the heroes are about to win, and then the military fucks up the plans, and then they are in a lose-lose situation, and then the military gets, assimilated or whatever the fuck. It ends in like this big fuck off cliffhanger, and we get season 5. The general runs off with his tail between his legs, and then 80s, going to the 80s history, you have that Star Wars space program with the satellite, which could be involved with the Upside Down. They're trying to project the Upside Down even more,
I think this season's going to end, and we're going to find out that the person who's pulling the strings and controlling everybody in the government is Callie. It's going to be number 6 from season 2.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it could involve Reaganomics somehow with season 5.
Everything in Stranger Things is Reaganomics.
Reaganomics. Going back to Ninja Turtles.
No, it's just a theory I have also. There's so many theories you can pull out with this.
Yeah.
And so many outcomes.
Yeah, I mean,
season 5.
There's a lot of stuff. We don't even know what their inspirations are going to be for season 5 moving forward. They have a lot that they can pull from. I mean, for all we know, we could see the stuff as a fucking inspiration. I don't know.
I hope we get scanners.
That marshmallow fluff is trying to kill me. Well, yeah, it's called diabetes, stupid.
The white stuff.
But yeah, so I mean, there's lots of speculation to be made, and I mean, we're having fun just rattling off ideas and what we hope / don't hope happens. By the way, I didn't realize this until a few days ago. I looked her up because I couldn't place her. Like, her face was so familiar to me, but I couldn't figure out why, like, what I had seen her in, and I don't really think I had. But the girl who plays Chrissy at the beginning of season 4 of Stranger Things, do you know who her father is?
Chrissy's dad?
In real life.
Oh, okay. No, I don't recognize the actress at all.
Casper Van Dien.
What?
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
Tarzan?
Fucking
Johnny Rico?
Yeah, Johnny Rico, dude.
Okay. I'm like, let me pick a less obscure movie.
I know what you meant, but I'm like, I don't know if anybody's gonna
the guy from
Starship
Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah, he was on a couple of different things, but yeah, 5 fucking Starship Troopers movies or something. But yeah,
Wow.
I think her name is Grace Van Dien. But the second I saw that her father was Casper Van Dien, it all clicked. In not a bad way, because she's an attractive actor, but she looks like her dad.
Yeah, the eyes. Yeah, when you said it, I'm like,
mouth,
holy crap.
dude.
Yeah.
The mouth.
Well, she doesn't have his shovel jaw, you know.
She got those big chompers, just like her dad. But yeah, the second I saw that he was her father, I was like, oh, well, that'll do it. Yeah, they love getting the progeny of famous actors in there. I mean, we got Maya Hawke, Grace Van Dien. You know, I mean, that's about it for now. But you know, we'll always see more in the future, I'm sure. Maya Hawke, I've actually been very impressed with in this series so far.
Same.
Oh, she's great. She's so likable.
Yeah. She's the
Donatello.
for real.
Of that group, not like actually Dustin. But
she's such an interesting physical characteristic combination of both of her parents. You know, Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke. I think she's very.
She's a product of the movie Gattaca.
She is.
Yeah,
I love that
is
movie.
Absolutely true.
I have an unabashed love of that movie, and you know, I will fight anybody who has anything bad to say.
I like The
it.
Postman. We all make choices, you know.
Yeah, some of us make better ones. Like,
hey, Tom Petty's in that movie, man.
Oh, is that the litmus? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the bare minimum that you can like about The Postman.
So yeah, we'll move on from that. I don't want to. I'll just say this because we're mentioning Netflix. The Umbrella Academy season 3 came out today. 10 episodes. I know that most of us out there have not had a chance to see any of it. I watched the first episode. It was delightful.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah. The first 15, 16 minutes of it, I was just like, what in the fuck am I watching? In the best way possible.
Sounds accurate.
All I'll say is when you hear Kenny Loggins start playing, stick with it. You're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised. And, so check that out. So far, so good. I'm really curious to see how they take care of the other 9 episodes on this, what happens. I know we're kind of running on time here. Steve, can you give us a real quick rundown on what the dealio is with Steve McMahon? What the fuck is happening with that guy?
McMahon?
Give us the bullet points.
Yeah. First off, let me give you a quick. Well, I'll do that after. So basically, in the past past week, the head of WWE has been under fire for a $3 million hush scandal where he paid an intern. He was doing stuff with an intern, gave her $3 million to shut up.
Like what? Playing ping pong?
No, Bill Clinton levels of, stuff, which is, yeah. So it's kind of a big no-no. So he's under investigation and was forced to step down. This is not
the racist stuff was okay though.
So this isn't the
right.
Kind of segueing to what Yo-Yo is saying. This isn't the first time Vince McMahon has been under the controversial microscope, and most of the stuff was swept under the rug.
Time.
Yeah,
not the first time, but it is the 200th.
So let's
you got a
highlight a few. Let's highlight a few of his past
indiscretions.
Yeah, so there was the Ring Girl scandal in 1986 where the first female referee in the 80s was forcibly engaged into something. Then there was the incest angle with his daughter. In 2006, Vince came up with an incest storyline with his daughter, Stephanie. Vince's pitch was to have Who's the Daddy story with Stephanie's unborn baby. And the end game was either Vince or Shane being revealed to be the father. Luckily, Stephanie rejected the idea. Obviously, we all know Jimmy Snuka, who passed away. But before he passed away, he was convicted of murder for Linda Danantino. In 1983, he was, arrested for that because he was an abusive person. And Vince paid off the police, and the records and everything were expunged until a couple decades later before Jimmy Snuka passed away, they, were brought back up into the limelight. And then just a bunch of other things
the steroids.
The steroid trial. the Ring Boy scandal with Terry Garvin and Mel Phillips, and
The fact that like wrestlers don't have health insurance and stuff like that. And
Yep.
of course,
Sable, what's it? Tori Wilson. There's another one with the Fabulous Moolah. There's like so much, and like the thing that gets me about all this stuff, no matter what, he's still going to be there calling the shots.
Actually, no, he is forced to step down as the CEO of WWE. So
I
because
don't buy that he's not going to be the one still pulling the strings.
well, he owns 80% of the company.
So
Still,
gets the profit off of it.
yeah, but even though he's forced to step down, he still has a majority share of the company. But
so he doesn't have to do any of the hard stuff.
But
like, where's the punishment?
Sounds like everybody that he's had fucking legal proceedings with are the ones that had to do the hard stuff.
But his crime and misdemeanors the past 30 or 40 years tell the whole story. Like this.
Yeah, so breaking news, Vince McMahon, giant piece of shit.
Apparently not as bad as his dad, though. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is debatable.
Favors.
Yeah. I don't know.
We really dodged a bullet there, kids.
But yeah, for all you wrestling fans out there, this was a big piece of news because it was the Twitter machine like broke down. Like this was more news than the January 6th committee. Like this
You
was
blew up
trending.
the internet. No, I mean literally. You blew up the internet.
Yeah.
You're one of them Kardashians release another ass photo?
But
so
yeah,
is that not a timely reference anymore? I mean, it's
shock and awe.
I think that happens about every day now. So,
all right.
Yeah.
It's more like shock and awe, man.
That's why I'm an AEW guy. I don't watch WWE anymore.
Guys, I went to school to be a professional wrestler. So as you can tell by my Captain Lou Albano outfit that I'm wearing right now. So I would definitely not want to work for that man. And I feel really, really sorry for anyone that has to deal with some of the crap that he's put people through. You know, it's scary.
I went to broadcasting school, and I've heard some horror stories from some grads that worked at WWE, which is their headquarters is in Stamford, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And they've said that you'd be lucky to work in the headquarters for more than a week because the turnaround is more than 3 days.
Wow.
And then you're gone. It's like a political party there.
Literally, because she ran for the governor of Connecticut at least twice.
And then went for Trump's cabinet. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And what's she going to do? Have a Dudley boy put someone through the cabinet? You know, it's like,
oh my God.
I don't know. You know, there's a lot of Dorkening fans out there that like wrestling, and I know there's a bunch of us. And one of our listeners, Tom, actually has a YouTube page where he talks about wrestling. So maybe he will do something on this a bit more to talk about it, because I have not watched wrestling since Eugene was a thing, which probably was 2004.
That is when I stopped.
Yeah,
that was an
like,
insult to my intelligence because of my disability. That was an insult to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's just been like so many. I was a big ECW guy, loved ECW, all that, and you know, I just fell out with this company and all that, and I'm like, I went to WrestleMania where I saw Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, and then like literally like a year later or something like that, it's like I'm out. You know, they're not a great company. They put stuff out there and they say that it's sanitized and all that, but really, like, they just constantly push these misogynist, racist things out there, and it's like, this is not something that I should be watching, and I'm just uninterested.
I mean, and they also have like zero care for like the people that help bring in their money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like how they treat their wrestlers. Like that's a sign of how like it's hard to support a business like that. That's my
opinion.
As much as like
even recently, in the past 2 years, they let go. Not because of the pandemic, but just because they were cutting their budget. They let go over 100 wrestlers and employees, and some of their female wrestlers and employees, they sent all their material to their house like their belongings in trash bags. That's how low this company is.
Lovely.
What an XFL move. Oh
yeah. So on that lovely note, fucking what a bunch of trash bags, literally and figuratively. Last thing I'll just touch upon real quick. I'm not going to get into too many specifics because it could be a potential spoiler, blah blah blah. But apparently, supposedly, and allegedly, the plot to the film The Flash has been leaked. Certain plot points. One thing, a couple things in particular. I guess it isn't just a straight up like going into another dimension kind of story. It actually does involve like the time travel aspect, screwing everything up, and that's part of the reason why Michael Keaton's Batman is there, as well as Supergirl. When we do know that Michael Shannon does show up as General Zod, it is supposed to be General Zod circa Man of Steel, and he's doing the same thing where he's like, "Bring me Kal-El!" The thing about it is like this is where you get a little bit of that flashpoint that comes into it. In this particular timeline, Superman Kal-El, he did not survive the trip through space to Earth, but his cousin Kara did, and she is actually being held by the government. And the Flash and 89 Batman are the ones that go to get her out, and that's who has to that kind of has a little bit more to do with General Zod showing up. I guess because of that, General Zod gets ready to do his whole you are not alone thing and try to take out the Earth, but because of the Flash and Supergirl and Batman working together right from the get-go, they prevent him from even making his way to Metropolis and take him out, and there's like no massive loss of life anywhere.
Yeah.
Who's playing Supergirl?
Sasha Calle. She's a South American actress. It looks really interesting. I like her costume and everything. It should be pretty cool. I'm down for it.
I can't wait for Batgirl. I think she looks amazing.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. I think Leslie Grace is saw her in that outfit and I was like, come on.
So
for real, outstanding.
Even though the film's already done, like they're in post-production, and with everything going on with
they're not getting rid of Ezra Miller in the movie.
I wasn't asking that. I was just saying
how's that press run gonna go?
That's what I was asking.
How's that press run gonna go?
Well,
he's
not
going to
gonna
replace him with Jimmy Fallon.
He's not gonna be doing press for the movie. Obviously, I would venture to say that past this flick, we are probably not going to be seeing very much of Ezra Miller involved with any of these projects moving forward. I mean, this is a character that actually does lend itself to being able to be recast, and that would probably be for the best. Don't bring in Wally West. Have it be Barry still. Just let that character be what it is. No need to muddle it further by having it be a completely different character who is actually, and I don't mean like through blood, but like related to the character that's been established already. We barely got in the Solo movie, so that would just be needlessly confusing. The other thing I did see is that what the hell is his name? Harry Lennox, who played General Swanwick / Martian Manhunter in Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League. He is one of the biggest casualties of General Zod in The Flash. He actually does try to Martian Manhunter out and take Zod out, and Zod lays waste to him.
Wow.
They're really dipping into the Snyderverse here.
Yeah, which is fine by me because that fucking Martian Manhunter looked terrible. It's pretty bad. No, honestly, it's pretty bad when the CW has a better looking Martian Manhunter than Zack Snyder's Justice League, for real. I held up a photo from each to my wife and I said, just bare bones. She had no idea which one was which. I said, which of these two looks better? And I even brought in a third photo. I said, this is the comic book character, his original costume. Now, which of these looks better? And she's like, that one. I said, that is fucking CW Supergirl Martian Manhunter. That is awful.
She didn't choose the Kirkland brand.
Right. But I guess by the end of the movie, it's Michael Keaton's Batman that is there alongside Supergirl as well. They aren't quite sure what happened with Superman or Ben Affleck's Batman. And then there is sort of like a stinger or something at the end of it where maybe it seems as though Affleck's Batman has somehow managed to send Barry a message saying like, you fixed it, but you fucked it up at the same time. Like there's a crisis coming. You need to save us. And it's basically saying like they can get everything folded in by way of him solving this quote crisis that's going to be coming up. So we'll see how all that pans out. But you guys can all check out, the Google and the Reddits and find out more about that if you'd like. I'm not going to pour over the entire thing. It's a lot. It's hefty. But yeah, so I mean that's we had a lot of stuff to cover and we got it in just at the finish line there. So yeah, I think a lot to consider, a lot of fun things. Let speculation run rampant for the next couple of weeks, and we'll see who's right, who's wrong, who's in between on the upside down and the goings on for those kids in Hawkins, what have you.
Can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, it's so great. But let's start making moves here. Hey, Steve, why don't you tell people where they can find you, brother?
So you can find our award-winning podcast, Super Retro Throwback Reviews. I know,
I voted
right?
for that.
Y'all voted for that. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Well deserved.
Yeah, you can find the award-winning Super Retro Throwback Reviews on all major podcasts and distributors and on the Dorkening Podcast Network and Super Retro Throwback Reviews on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'm here every Wednesday on the Dorkening Podcast Network.
Excellent. Yo.
Just Yo Saint Laurent on Instagram is basically the only thing I do at the moment. Like I said, at some point I might do more, but you'll find out there.
Well, your presence here is always appreciated, and that's
Thank
enough
you.
for us.
Absolutely.
But yeah, more if you want to give it to us too. We'll take that. And Justin the Coop Cooper.
But usually you can find Brandon and myself in a small box on the side of the Muppet stage yelling at Fozzie Bear. That's mostly where you'll find the two of us. Oh, is that? No. Oh, okay. You can check me out at Epic Shells on Facebook and the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast, and alongside Brandon on the Dork Night podcast and Comics Paradox.
Excellent. That is correct. I'm Leo Pond, the monkey behind the keys, and you can check out all these gentlemen and see their links above and below. You can also check out the 40 plus podcasts we have on the DorkeningPodcastNetwork.com. All right, yeah, seriously, it's me though.
Whoa!
I'm Brett. Whoa! The Waldorf and Statler thing got me for sure, dude. Like, hey, these guys aren't half bad. Yeah, they're not half good either. But yeah, you can find me here every week. Like Justin said, we do the Dork Night podcast covering all things Batman, and the Comics Paradox podcast where we talk about alternate reality takes and tales. DC Comics, Marvel Comics, What Ifs, Elseworlds, also things like Age of Apocalypse storyline, Tangent Comics, you name it, we're going to cover it. And you can check me out on social media at Brandon's Powers and for Twitter, and at this Brandon Has Powers on Instagram. And if you want to check out the Powers Combined Facebook group, it's just a group of dorks like to get together and share info, memes, good times, laughs. Our number one rule there is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be booted immediately. And as I was saying, there are quite a few different podcasts over at the DorkeningPodcastNetwork.com. We are up to almost 50, I think, at this point, and there's a lot of criteria that's covered. So
I'm 50.
Yeah, if you're a dork and into something, there's a good chance we cover it. And other than that, just come on back here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we would love to see all you and hear from you and continue to have you be our viewers and listeners. But that being said, everybody have a great night.
Great night, everybody. Peace.